It is one of the most terrifying sounds a person can hear. That sudden, sharp crash from the other room, followed by a silence that feels 100 times worse. Your heart stops. You run in to find your parent on the floor, and in that single instant, a new kind of fear begins. It is so easy to blame the rug, or a misplaced pair of shoes, or to write it off as a moment of simple clumsiness. We tell ourselves it was just a one-time accident, something to be more careful about in the future. But what if I told you that most falls are not accidents at all? What if they are the logical and predictable outcome of subtle age-related changes to the body's core balance system? A complex system that involves not just the legs, but the inner ear, the eyes, and the brain. Today we're going to stop blaming the furniture and start understanding the biology of balance. To understand why falls become so much more common, we have to first understand what balance is. It feels simple, you just stand. But in reality, balance is not a static state. It's an incredibly complex, non-stop calculation. Your brain is a supercomputer, constantly processing 3 separate streams of information to keep you upright. We can call this the balance triad. It consists of your visual system, your vestibular system, and your proprioceptive system. For most of our lives, this triad works so perfectly that we never think about it. But as we age, subtle natural changes can begin to degrade the quality of information coming from all 3 sources at the same time. A fall is what happens when the brain's supercomputer gets fuzzy data, or not enough data, and it makes a miscalculation. Let's look at the first part of the triad, the vestibular system. Shutterstock. This is a set of tiny, delicate structures deep inside your inner ear. It has nothing to do with hearing. Its only job is to be your body's internal gyroscope. It's filled with fluid and microscopic, hair-like sensors that detect the movement of that fluid. This is how your brain knows if your head is tilting, turning, or accelerating, even if your eyes are closed. As we age, these delicate components can change. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that the number of these sensitive nerve cells in the vestibular system can decrease, and the structures themselves can become less responsive. The signal your brain gets about your head's position in space isn't as crisp or as fast as it used to be. It's like your internal gyroscope has a slight wobble. Now, let's look at the second, and perhaps most overlooked part of the triad, proprioception. This is a scientific term for a beautiful concept, your body's 6th sense. It is the constant unconscious feedback loop between your brain and your body parts, telling your brain where they are in space without you having to look. It's the network of specialized nerve endings in your muscles, tendons, joints, and especially in the soles of your feet. Proprioception is how you can walk in the dark, how you know how much pressure to use to hold a glass, and how your brain instantly knows that your ankle is starting to roll, allowing it to send a signal to correct it before you sprain it. With age, this system also faces challenges. Nerve conduction can slow down. The sensitivity of these receptors in the feet and joints often diminishes. This is why an older adult may not catch themselves as quickly as they used to. The warning signal from the ankle that it's on uneven ground is delayed, or it's quieter. By the time the brain gets the message and sends a correction, it's often too late. Finally, we have the third part of the triad, the visual system. This one is the most obvious. Our eyes tell our brain where we are in relation to the horizon, to the furniture, to the floor. We use our vision to scan for obstacles and confirm the information we're getting from our inner ear and our feet. It's no secret that vision changes with age. We may develop cataracts which cloud the lens. Glaucoma can affect peripheral vision. Macular degeneration can blur the center of our sight. Even normal aging means the pupils become less responsive, so it takes much longer for our eyes to adjust when moving from a bright room to a darker hallway. Now, here's the critical point. A change in one of these systems is usually manageable. If your inner ear is off, you can compensate with your vision and your feet. But aging is a compounded process. The biological reality is that all three systems are often becoming slightly less efficient all at once. The brain is now getting a slightly wobbly signal from the inner ear, a slightly slower signal from the feet, and a slightly dimmer or blurrier signal from the eyes. It is trying to make a critical split-second calculation about stability with incomplete or contradictory data. A simple misstep on a rug or getting up too quickly in a dim room is all it takes to overwhelm this taxed system. The fall is not an accident, it's a system failure. So we have the why. We know that balance isn't a single thing, but a complex biological calculation happening between the vestibular system, proprioception, and vision. We know that a fall is what happens when this system gets overwhelmed. So what do? Our first instinct, and it's a good one, is to change the environment. We bubble wrap the home, we remove the rugs, we install grab bars, and we clear the clutter. This is essential, and you should absolutely do it. But this is only half the solution. This is a passive strategy. To truly reduce the risk of falls, we must also pursue an active strategy. We must find ways to support and, where possible, strengthen the three parts of that biological triad. First, we must actively engage the proprioceptive system. This is the use it or lose it principle. That network of nerves in the feet and legs needs to be stimulated and challenged to stay sharp. This is where specific exercises, approved by their doctor, are critical. Research has shown that practices like Tai Chi are incredibly effective. Tai Chi involves slow, deliberate weight-shifting movements that are a perfect workout for the proprioceptive system. But it doesn't have to be a formal class. Simple, safe exercises at home can help. For instance, having your parent practice standing on one foot while securely holding onto a kitchen counter or the back of a sturdy chair can help retrain and sharpen those nerve-to-brain pathways. Second, we need to support the visual system with smart lighting. Yes, regular eye exams are the first step. But we also have to adapt the home to the reality of aging eyes. Because the pupils react more slowly to changes in light, a walk from a bright living room into a dim hallway is a high-risk event. The solution is to increase ambient light everywhere. Make sure hallways and stairwells are as brightly lit as the main rooms. Use high-wattage or equivalent LED bulbs, and crucially, install motion-activated or light-sensing nightlights along the entire path from their bed to the bathroom. This prevents their brain from ever having to fly blind while their eyes struggle to adjust. Finally, the third strategy is to respect and accommodate the vestibular system. This system can't be exercised in the same way as the legs, but it can be accommodated. One of the simplest and most profound interventions is a new rule: never get up quickly. Encourage your parent to move in stages. When going from lying down to standing, first sit up in bed for a moment, then swing their feet to the floor and sit on the edge of the bed for 10 to 15 seconds. This pause gives the fluid in the inner ear time to settle, allowing the vestibular system to send a clear signal to the brain before they ask their body to be vertical and stable. This simple habit change can prevent that sudden, dangerous head rush and dizziness. Understanding the science is the first step to empowerment. If you want to continue replacing stress with scientific clarity, I invite you to join our community by subscribing, and please share your own journey in the comments below. Your story matters here.